On digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
Woo! Let's get it on. Giants win. Giants win. Live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. Hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. Brought to you by The Sportscast. Today is October 2nd, 2025. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to The Sportscast on all our channels, YouTube, X, Spotify, iTunes. And also, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcasting streaming channels. That'll help us out tremendously. If you like what you hear, love what you're hearing, what we talk about, smash the like button on YouTube, follow us, get the notifications, and let's continue growing. We've been growing and growing each week, each month, and we'd love to have you as part of our show and comments. Okay, we are streaming live every week on Facebook and YouTube every Thursday at 8 p.m. And let's get it going. Mr. Byron Jones, how you doing today? I know I'm happy.
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
You're doing wonderful. Can't get it right. Can't get right, fan. What does that mean?
It means just can't get it right. You know, the Giants did well this week. And then, next week, Lord knows what's going to happen. And just the crazy things are going on.
All right. Well, let's bring one of our favorite Giant fans and guest host, Mr. Big Blue Ant, with a phenomenal foray of Giant hats. Welcome to the show, my brother.
What's going on, guys?
What's happening? Wears a nice hat. I got so many hats, but I got only one regular Giant hat. I was gonna wear it tonight, but like you look good in hats. I look like a peanut head and stuff.
I appreciate it.
Welcome to the show. Well, big win for the Giants. First of all, I'm gonna eat a little bit of crow, right? I still think my logic was sound, but I'm happy that I was wrong because I'll take the win, right? But there's no but. I was wrong. That's it. But my thing was, again, I was concerned of putting this kid out there against one of the best ranked defenses, against a high-powered offense. My defense was concerning for me. They were getting better and getting better. But I'll take the win. I was happy with it. I think the kid brings the energy to the team. I like the way he danced when he scored. He seems likable. Daniel Jones is playing well. By the way, we'll talk about that a little bit. But, he did bring some spark. But, still got to take it easy. And, well, I'll see what everybody else has to say. But anyhow, that's the deal. I do believe the defense played really well. I mean, because at the end of the day, we held that team to, 10 points? It was like 13-10. What was the final score, 13-10?
21-18.
21-18, okay. You keep a team under 20 points, pretty good for Giants, right? We gave up 40-something against Dallas, right? And, so I don't know what's going on there. But the defense played well. Dexter Lawrence came in for a big play. I was thinking about you, Byron. He got that interception, didn't he? And then Brian Burns is the guy you've been talking about. To me, he's the guy off the radar. Like, of all the guys we're picking, you mentioned Brian Burns almost every single time. But, like, if we started talking, we would talk about Thibodeau. We were talking about Abdul Carter. We talked about Dexter Lawrence. You're the one that always brings up Brian Burns. And Brian Burns has delivered every game. Every game. But anyhow, that's the deal. I am super happy the Giants win. I will take that. Put me to it was super happy. So anyhow, let's talk a little bit about the win, Byron. Tell me your takes on the win and what are your thoughts, Jaxson Dart, and we'll go from there. We'll go around the horn.
Well, I love, what you said before, that Jaxson Dart and Scatter will bring a different energy. Now you can see the whole team just had a different energy, about them, with these two young guys. The only thing that, bothered me is I was kind of like, when Malik Nabers got hurt. We got to mention that. As far as, how are they going to replace him? it was all around. I think Burns has like 5 sacks now. He's leading the league in sacks. He's playing very well. Abdul Carter was a menace. All game. And
yes, he was playing, bro. He was playing.
And if it wasn't for that 6'6", 250-pound quarterback back there, Justin Herbert, he probably had at least 3 or 4 sacks. So he's applying constant, pressure. It seems like Dexter Lawrence is finally awakened from his slumber, because for the last 4 games, prior to, you didn't hear anything about it, like nothing. And I understand he's getting double teamed and triple teamed all the time, and the other guys are making plays. But every now and then you got to have the big fella, make a play. And the only thing that the other problem I have is that he doesn't have like a running mate like he had when Leonard Williams was there. He doesn't have the other guy to take the pressure off of him. And hopefully with Alexander, I think the kid's name was Alexander, and Robertson, and those guys, they have to step up their game to help him. But overall, as a win, that was a good win against the Chargers. Really good win
against a good coach, a good quarterback, a good team, a good offense, a good defense. That's a good win, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it wasn't for the penalties against Dallas, they should have beat Dallas. They should have 2 wins under their belt. Now, should have, would have, could have, got it. But go ahead, Big Ant. Give me your review.
No, I agree with everything Byron said. I mean, Cam Scadaboo, it's weird because
I love that guy, man.
I know. On one side of it, he scares the hell out of you. And on the other side, he just sparks you so much that you're like, this kid knows how to take a beating, and he's okay with it. But you're afraid as a fan to be like, how much longer can he do this before he ends up on the IR? The thing, and again, his first game, I know a lot's going to be built up on him, and he's still a rookie. He's got a lot to learn. But I think, number one, he's got to learn how to slide.
Who?
And, Jaxson
Dart. Okay.
He's got to learn how to slide.
For our listeners, remember, now everybody's watching. So you were talking about Scadaboo.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I jumped from one end to the other.
How's the freaking? Why don't want to run it back sliding?
I mean,
you talk about Jaxson Dart, which we got a problem. I think that's a quarterback problem, because every quarterback we had, other than Eli, who's mentored by his family, Daniel Jones didn't slide, Jaxson Dart ain't sliding. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think more importantly than that, because he's showing that he's willing to put his head down, and the team has to love that. A quarterback that's willing to die for his guys to get that extra yard. But the thing I hated more than that was, why are you stiff-arming people with your throwing hand? Like, just that one you just don't do. Just don't do that. But other than that, I mean, again, he was a big spark. He just showed, like, it's almost like without all the passing yards, he looked like the rookie we expected him to be. But I'm with you. I still say it was a little early. And based on what he did, it shows. But I think as the season goes on, I mean, Daboll has already said, barring any injury, he will be the quarterback for the rest of the season. So I'm hoping just to see each week a little more progression, a little more learning, and I think we'll be fine.
Guys, but to put some light to the thing, we only put up 250 yards versus their 338. We only passed for 89 yards. But we had a good rushing game, 161. Obviously, some of it Jaxson Dart. Let's see who the player was versus their 152. Right? We averaged 3.6 a carry a play. They averaged 6. So but we got 20 first downs. Third down efficiency was excellent. We were 7 of 15. They were 4 or 12. That's how good the defense played. Right? Got them off the field. And Byron, we've always talked about. I know everyone's saying it starts with the lines isolating, but which I agree, other than the fact that Giants start with defense, right? Stop these guys. We were losing games by 2 points. Can't do that. Fourth down efficiency wasn't so big. Giants ran 69 plays versus they won 13 more plays. We gave up 6 sacks, though, bro.
Yeah, because he wouldn't get rid of the ball.
He gave up 6. That's youth. Against a good defense, right? Didn't we say we were worried? His defense, he's not going to survive getting sacked 6 times,
right?
And especially the way he's running, like Big Blue just mentioned. We only had 2 sacks, punted equally. I'm just going because I was looking at, but we had the ball. This is weird though. We had less yards. me see. Look at penalties. Look at the difference in penalties, okay? If we would have not had those penalties against Dallas, we were 8 of 43. It's still a lot of penalties, but only 43 yards. The Chargers had 14 for 107 yards.
Which
So
is a lot for them.
that negates their 338. You understand? And then we
Right.
had the ball for 11 minutes, almost an entire quarter longer. So it's numbers, I always mention stats just to see, because sometimes on paper it looks like the game was closer than it was. Sometimes on paper it looks like it should have been a blowout. Sometimes on paper, but I always like to looking at the paper only because of certain key points, penalties and the amount of yards, right? Because that hurts pieces. Sacks allowed, right? And if overall we won the game, but Dart didn't light it up. He sparked the team, though. That's what I think he did. He sparked the team, and the fact that we were on the field. Now I'm gonna let you go now, Big Blue, then Byron. The fact that we were on the field for 11 minutes longer helps the defense. Byron, you know that better than anybody else, especially our big guys, right?
Yep.
I'll take that type of play anytime, win or lose. You understand? I just want them to look competitive. I really want our defense, because the defensive backs stepped up too, Byron. They stepped up. They played well.
No. Let's get it right. Except for Tay Banks, our former number 1 pick. Yeah,
He's waiting to go to another team to perform.
I've said for a long time when it came to Tay Banks, but more specifically, that the reason he's not doing as good as he was in year 1 is because he was literally a product of the Wink Martindale defense. Had Wink still be there, it might be a different story. But I think he's a hardcore part of what Wink was trying to do with the defense. And he proved it that first year. Now, again, could it have been, the rookie, blasting off kind of thing, and then what goes into the sophomore slump and everything? It could be, but I don't think it was. I think the way Wink ran the defense was suited for Tay Banks and the way he played.
Well,
but
go ahead, Byron.
So, like with Wink, a lot of the stuff he did was, man-to-man, coverage. But then when you see this guy, without Wink there and try to cover somebody, one-on-one. And Victor, even we talked about this before with him. He's running the ball. The ball's in the air. He doesn't get his head around at all. He doesn't. And he runs into people all the time.
That's why he's always getting the interference calls.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look, if you don't turn your head around at one point, you're going to get called, because you can't. They're looking for that, right? You need to play the ball, right? And you got to see what's happening. You know what they're throwing. I still don't understand why they can't cover the short, like the cutback pass. But overall, though, the defense played well, but we were helped by penalties. 100 yards in penalties is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the defense was also helped by the fact that the Chargers were without 2 of their bigger linemen, 2 of their starters. I think that made a difference too, because if you look at a lot of the getting in the face of Herbert and everything, they were only 4-man rushes. Like, we were only putting 4 guys, and they were getting pressure. So I mean, that's a telltale of that defense or that offense not holding their own.
Abdul played well. You know what I mean? I mean, he was putting the pressure, right? Yeah. So here, let me get the banner that we had. Here we go. Giants, Chargers 18, Giants 21. Hold on. Jaxson Dart threw a touchdown pass and ran for another one in his score debut. I'll take it. 2 touchdowns from the quarterback.
Let's don't forget about Drew Phillips. He played very well too, the corner. If we're going to talk about a corner, let's talk about him too. He played very,
that's what I was saying. The corners played well. Game, right. Yeah, but it also helps that you're getting rest. Well, it helps that you're getting rest, and it also helps that Abdul Carter, Lawrence, defense was played. You know what I mean? They were putting pressure, and defense is more of a unit, because we're just dogs, right? So once one unit starts doing well, the other unit needs to pick up, because you're going to yell at, you know what I mean? If the line doesn't do their part, linebackers, D-backs are going to yell at them. If the linebackers are their part, the D-backs and the linemen are going to yell at them. If the D-backs aren't doing their part, the D linebackers and the linebacker yell at them. You know what I mean? So it's one of those units that like everything moves. There's only 3 units. You know what I mean? As in offense, you have multiple units and things have to move all at the same time. A little bit more complex, but on defense, you get pumped up if your guy's seeing you're putting pressure on it. Now you could be a little bit more lax. You know what I mean? You can see where the ball is. You don't have to panic. You the same way a quarterback has. You know how they say the quarterback needs to have a mental clock, right? You need to know, how many mentally you need to know how many seconds you have that ball in your hand. You better get rid of it or run. Defensive back has the same feeling, right? You're knowing how long you're running. There's a time either that pass is coming or it's going somewhere else. Or a guy's running, right? Or the quarterback's going all the way. There's a lot of things going on at the same time. But hey, for the most part, I'll take the win. I'll still. Again, Daniel Jones won his first game. I just think Jaxson Dart excites that team. And by the way, speaking of Scatterboo, Byron mentioned the same thing. He's concerned that he's running. But, man, John Riggins used to run that way. Come on, there's a lot of players that run hard. Derrick Henry runs hard. He's just really big.
But look at the 2 people you just picked. They're way bigger than this guy. John Riggins is a big back. And we can't even say anything about Henry is just
right. Yeah.
So, Henry's a linebacker.
But Walter Payton wasn't that big, and he'd run right through you and bounce off, right? I mean, there's several backs. Look at some of the fullbacks of the day, right? They would pound, and now they didn't get the ball as much, but they would pound it through. Running backs get hurt. He's a rookie too, and I just think he wants to get paid. He's playing hard, giant football, and people like that. You know what I mean? Now, so if he gets hurt, you don't want him to get hurt, but those running backs are built to take hits. Look, let's not confuse it. A running back, correct me if I'm wrong, though, a running back is hitting or is getting hit on every play.
Yeah.
Unless he's just missing a block, right? But he has to hit on every play.
Yeah.
So he's figuring if I get the ball, I'm going to hit you. Tell me a time that a running back doesn't hit. The only time is if he's running a flare, if he's running a pass, right? Outside of that, he's hitting. He's going through a hole. He's protecting. He's doing something, right?
Right. Yeah. Now, the thing about go ahead. I'm sorry, Byron.
He reminds me of, I'm going to show my age again, like a Rob Carpenter, back in the day running back, number 26 for the Giants. Then you have Ahmad Bradshaw, number 44, hard running back. Then we have way back to show my age was Doug Kotar, another 44, the same number, and all these, they run hard. They're not going to miss contact. So he just falls in the line with that number 44 for some reason.
Speaking of bringing up the number 44, which is what I was getting to a little bit, was Cam Scatterboo reminds me of another 44, Mike Allstott, but with the mentality of a Jeremy Shockey. Like the kid's obviously a wild man. And then he plays like Mike Allstott, like he's looking to be a bowling ball.
Yeah, Scatterboo, he ran the ball 25 times. Okay, he ran the ball 25 times. We threw 20 passes, right? Look how even we did the offense, right? Well, that's not true. Because we ran more. We ran the ball 42 times. The running backs ran at 17. We threw it 20, but Scatterboo and the other Singletary. What happened to Tracy?
Tracy's hurt. He's out for 4 weeks.
Shit, that hurts us, man.
Yeah, he dislocated his shoulder.
That would give us a dual combo. You know what I mean? That would preserve Scatterboo.
I would have called up Turbo.
Interesting. Darius Slayton, okay, Wandale Robinson, Scatterboo. I mean, hey, look, overall, I think it was good. I was just looking at the numbers, and then we'll go from there. Dart finished 13-20, 111 yards, ran the ball 10 times for 54 yards. That helps us with first downs. And then he gave a shout out to Russell Wilson. I want to give a shout out to Russell Wilson. I know this week wasn't the easiest, but he handled it like a professional. I have a ton of respect for him. So that's nice to hear. That kid knows what to say.
It's professional. I mean? It's professional the way he went about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it meant a lot to Russ too.
Byron, any talks about this? Russell Wilson expected to become a trade target? Like, who's going to pick him up?
Cincinnati Bengals.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I can see that.
Cincinnati Bengals. What about the Ravens?
Nah. What, the backup? Nah, he's not that
For
kind
Lamar?
of quarterback for Ravens. Nah.
No.
He's not.
Okay.
They already got Cooper Rush, which is a bad mix for them. I don't know why they didn't sign more, more.
Right,
like
but
a quarterback
Shador, they wanted Shador, and they didn't want to go there to be the backup to him. And now look, you could have had your shot.
Yeah.
Right? Giants defense made a big play. Brian Burns' sack of Justin Herbert that forced the Chargers to punt late in the game. Brian Burns is playing. And it's helping that Abdul Carter's putting pressure. We need that kid to show up. We need finally a guy to show up. Hopefully, by the way, Thibodeau missed some of these guys, man. I don't know what's going on with Thibodeau.
See, I don't put that much emphasis on Thibodeau. I think he's disruptive, and that's what we need him to do so the other guys can get in there. Not every guy's going to be able to get in on every play. And with Thibodeau being disruptive like he was, I mean, he did have one of the sacks. But the fact that he's disruptive, and I think people get a little led away from him over the last 2 years. But even those last 2 years, I always thought he was disruptive. Now, he wasn't the superstar that we drafted in the first round. He hasn't been that, but he's still been a consistent guy who's constantly giving the quarterback some fits, constantly giving the linemen some fits.
Okay, I'll watch him, but I watched him either against Dallas, I think, or this game, but no, against Dallas, where he just missed. You know what I mean? And it's like the problem is when you have such a high expectation and you see that, because like even the sacks he had last year, Big Blue, like they weren't meaningful. Like they were just sacks in the game. You understand?
Right.
And which we're going to talk about the Dallas and thing game. But I'm just saying to you, it's just I'll watch him. If you're saying that and that's happening, I'll take it. If he's being disruptive, that means Abdul Carter Lawrence is going to get in, or they're gonna switch and go to Abdul Carter, and hopefully Thibodeau could step it up. I would wish nothing better to have those guys three lead this team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you. With the Thibodeau thing, because the thing I have been aggravated with, it seems like whenever he's getting close to the play, it's always a second late before getting there. And I'm with you on that. But I still think he's being more disruptive.
No, like when you look at like all three of them together, Burns is explosive and got a bend come around the corner. Abdul Carter has the bend come around the corner and all kind of other stuff he does. Thibodeau's more like a power kind of rusher. He doesn't have the bend that those two guys have. That's the only difference. He's disruptive, but he just has a different way. And I can see him, and I'm gonna throw this out there. I can see him being for a trade. Trade him because I don't think they're gonna pick him up. As far as 45 or whatever the number is now with edge rusher. So I can see them trying to trade him sometime before the end of the year.
Right.
Well, hopefully, I don't know if we want to pay that much, but hopefully, there's still a lot of season left that they go watch the film and see how well they played. You got to remember they played well, but 100 yards and penalties helps. That means you're staying on the field. That helps on time, right? But look, it wouldn't be bad if he becomes a star that we thought he would be, right?
Right.
It wouldn't have hurt us, Byron. Right. Then we're starting to build defense because remember, back in the day, look at the linebacker crew we had. I mean, all four of them were great. Okay. I didn't have a problem with that. But hey, one thing is we're gonna talk about Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers out for season with torn ACL. Okay. Let me just say something to you, Byron, about that. All right, let me get off this. So didn't we say the other day what we were frustrated is that all they're doing is running him flies. What did he get hurt on? He ran on a fly pattern, jumping for the okay. Well, come on, he's a young kid and stuff, but you're running him too much. And then every time you make him get up in the air, every time you jump in the air as an athlete, you risk something, right? Basketball players, right? The way they land. Football players, right? Every time you jump and land on your feet, you're risking an ankle, you're risking something, right? basketball players, that's why their backs hurt. They're always jumping, right? Don't get me wrong. They jump, but they got to worry about landing on someone's foot. If you're only running fly patterns with this guy, it was inevitable. Something's going to happen. You know what I mean?
I put some of that. I put some of that on the quarterback too, because if you look at some of those plays, including that one, a lot of these balls are being underthrown, and he's just trying to make a play. Again, I agree with you. He's not getting much other than the fly patterns, but again, he's being underthrown so much that he's trying to make a play because that's the kind of player he is, and unfortunately, it cost him this time.
Yeah, and
but didn't they draft Jalen Hyatt? Let's throw his name out there. But they drafted him to do that, and for some reason, he can't get on the field. When they do throw him the ball, which is not very often, he doesn't. It just like he doesn't fight for the ball. I don't know. When he came in from Tennessee or whatever, he was the top wide receiver, in the nation, all this other stuff, and it was a reason why he was drafted, in the third round. But now he has to step up to the plate. Now he has to be that guy. If they want to throw a go pattern, there's your guy. If that's the only thing, put him out there so he can do it.
And I agree with that. And the thing about that kills me is, when Jalen Hyatt came into the league, the one thing they were talking about is that breakaway speed. I haven't seen it. And I think that Coach Dayball and the wide receiver coaches are more concerned with his route running than they are about him just getting open.
Yeah, but if that's the case, run him on the fly. It's not that hard.
No, I agree.
Right? Just run him on the fly. Make him a decoy. If he's fast and you have to protect him deep, make him a decoy. Don't do that. Malik Nabers, who could do anything.
Yeah.
Give him a screen. Give him a reverse. Give him something. Put the ball. That kid is a talent.
Yeah, I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset that Wandell wasn't more of the.
Hold on, Blue. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think the Dallas Scouts has said something about Jalen Hyatt. As far as the only thing he could run was go route. Everybody knows that's the only thing he can do. If you mean the whole thing, but everybody in the NFL, the defensive back, everybody can run with him. Everybody can. He's gonna run a go route. All right, just back up.
But now you're getting rid of a defensive player. Right? So let him run with him. And now I got Malik Nabers. So once in a while, run them both. Now you got a problem. Right? You run him on a go route, but run him through the seams. Make two defensive backs covering him. Right? If he's running in the seams, where that safety goes, Malik Nabers is going to get it. Right? So you got to just run him to just distract, make him a distraction.
Make him go get the ball.
Make him a distraction. After a while, they're going to – I'm telling you, If you're covering a guy that's running go routes, you're also running as a defensive back. So you're getting tired, okay? And you start getting frustrated because they're not even throwing them the ball, right?
Yeah.
You got to lull that brother to sleep, right? Let him out. But tell this guy tell Jalen, change your speed on the go route. Go fast all the time. Slow it down. Go fast. Yeah. Slow it down. Right? Catsack dude sleeping. Right? Yeah. Then you got to stop. But don't do it to Malik Nabers. The only thing I see Malik Nabers is always on a downfield pass. Right? And where was he playing, Byron? Where was the game at? Where was the game at, Byron?
That terrible field, MetLife.
What is going to take? What is it going to take for the NFL to step in? Or the owners saying, guys, you need to do something because you're risking – you don't care about your players. That's fine. But there's a lot of visiting team players that are getting injured on that field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how somebody is not stepping in. The poor Dolphins lost a player, one of their starters playing there.
Yeah,
all right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now, on a sad note, how old is John Mara? Is he young?
I think he's in his 80s.
That's what I thought, but something I thought he was for some reason, something I thought he was like in his 60s. Mara, but I can't imagine him being. He's 70. That's still kind of young.
Really, 70?
Yeah. He looks old.
Yeah, he does.
Well, prayers out to him and the family. Still Giants, but anybody, his cancer's is terrible. Right. And I heard he doesn't even want to get like surgery or anything. Problem with cancer with surgery, once you open someone up that has cancer and you don't get it, it spreads real fast.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's unfortunately it's happened with my dad too. All righty. All right, guys, we're gonna take a little commercial break sponsored by Venture HR Global. Venture Global. They are in 160 countries. Pretty much, we're in every country in the world. So one quick break.
Borders? Optional. Complexity? Handled. Growth? Endless. The future of work is global. Introducing Venture Global, your all-in-one solution to find, hire, and pay talent around the world. Finding you the talent you need in the countries you're expanding into. Managing your employees across the globe, from contractors to EOR, all compliantly. And paying them on time in their currency with ease through a global HRIS platform. With Venture Global, we make international expansion feel local. Venture Global, built for borderless business.
All right. Thank you, Venture Global. If you want more information, we have a link and a landing page on the bottom. Just click on the link. If you know anybody that's looking to expand both in the United States and globally, think of Venture Global. All right. Back to the show. Let's go. We got going on here. Well, this is what. Yes, sir.
Hey, real quick, I'm looking at like all the guys that have been injured on that turf. There's some pretty big names that were injured, like Nick Bosa was injured there, Solomon Thomas, Garoppolo, Mozart, Sterling Sharp, Wanda Robinson, Blake Martinez, Achilles tear, Shane Lemieux, patella tear, the giant guy, Peppers, Kyle Falk, Aaron Rodgers, Achilles, Al Woods, Jalen Phillips, Achilles, Andrew Thomas, his foot. And now Malik Nabers. Those are a lot of big name guys, man, got hurt on that turf.
Just what ballpark, how much is that in millions in their salaries?
A lot.
Yeah.
It's got to be at least close to $1 billion. $500,000, $500 million, 750 million.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, too, is they said that they replaced the field prior to that 2 years ago. And I was down on that field, and it didn't feel any different to me.
I don't know. The guy gets up with freckles of black tar.
Yeah, but aren't they having like the soccer thing? Aren't they having the soccer?
Yeah,
thing?
they're changing it. They have to
yeah.
change it for real grass. But
Yeah.
they're putting on what they're concerned is the fact that they're going to do the soccer. But what happens is they put concerts and everything in there. So they're trying. The money that's being made is being renting out the concerts. So they got to do something else. But other teams have turf, and you don't get that many injuries. So it's got to be the turf itself or the conditions of the weather and the turf.
Yeah.
But it's just bad, man. Those names are big time names. These are not like just guys making mistakes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go. This is the one I want to talk about, though. First of all, I cannot believe the Packers tied. I should bet the odds now because I still think they're a good team, but they're not playing what was expected of them to play. Number one. Number two, their defense gave up points, but number three, it was Micah Parsons' tackle that forced them to do a field goal, which tied the game. Right, Micah delivered. That was the most important tackle. They caught Dak, and now it was fourth down. They had to go for 3 yards for a 3-point field goal. Any thoughts on that, Byron?
The Packers, prior to all this, took all the chips and pushed them all to the middle when they went and got Micah Parsons, and their quarterback. For some reason, does not impress me. He's going to be their problem, because he's still kind of sort of a gunslinger / just throw the ball in the bad places kind of guy. They don't depend on Josh Jacobs as a running back. Why don't you turn around?
I like him.
25.
Yeah, me too.
He runs hard, and he's from Tulsa, Oklahoma too. From Tulsa, and why don't they rely, running the ball? Because you figure everything, if things play out, nobody wants to go to Green Bay to play in the playoffs in the wintertime. Nobody wants to go up there to play in that cold. So why don't they play to the
By the way,
strength?
just to make sure we correct, not to correct you, but just to make sure everybody understands what you mean by that. Opposing teams don't want to play because players like playing for Green Bay, but opposing teams don't like going there to have to play in the cold.
Not in the cold.
Especially they got great fans. So sorry about that, Byron. Go ahead.
Yes,
Great.
And they need to rely more on the running game and and play action pass and that kind of stuff. And they do have a good defense and just play to their strength. But somehow, some reason, coaches get it in their head. I could throw the ball 25, 30, 40 times a game with this guy. He's just not that kind of guy right now.
He's one of those players that, and I do like him. But
he's one of those. Who's one of the players? Who are you talking about?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Okay.
Jordan Love. He's one of those guys that if you rattle him, takes him completely out of his game. And I think that's what Dallas did. They rattled him a little bit, and I don't want to say he gets scared, but he definitely gets rattled to the point to where, like Byron said, he's throwing the ball in spots that doesn't need to be thrown. And it just forces turnovers.
Okay, but don't you think that part of that is also the fact that they're not using Josh Jacobs? You're putting that kid in that position, right? I mean, he's got to do something. And look, and you're playing against Dak, who's known to put up numbers. So, run the ball. And wait a second, if I'm not mistaken, right? Dallas's run defense is terrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's terrible. I mean, there was no defense in this game. Between the two teams, they put up almost 900 yards total. Okay? Passing, 325 for Dak, 319 for Jordan Love. He put up that point. Okay? He rushing yards, 117 to 164. So this is an example. You weren't rushing. Yards per game were pretty even. First downs, Dallas had more first downs. Third down efficiency, great for Dallas, terrible for the Packers, which is because you're not running, right? Total plays, punted. They punted 4 times. Look, okay, remember what I said. What did I say about penalties? 11 penalties, 95 yards. Oh, no, sorry, that was Dallas. Dallas is uncontrollable.
It's always like that with Dallas.
No, I'm totally wrong. I was reading this wrong. Sorry, third down efficiency with Jordan Love was excellent. With Dallas, it was terrible at 4-11. So their defense held them off the field. It's hard that when you put up that many points, it's hard to look at the defense. But Byron, would you agree that if we're 4 of 11 on third down efficiency, defense did its job
for the most part?
I mean, 33% of the time, 30-something% of the time, they actually 70-something% of the time they made the team get off the field or go fourth down. And Dallas was only 1 for 1, right? The Packers ran a lot more, 12 more plays, punts. Dallas punted 4 times. So that goes back to the third down efficiency. And Dallas had a 95 yards penalty ain't going to help them. We lost the fumble, and then everything, the minutes were the same. So Jordan Love didn't really play that bad of a game, though, Byron.
Yeah.
He had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Still don't matter. Run the ball, man. Run the ball.
I agree. I like Josh. I thought that's the reason why you went and got Josh Jacobs. Look at both quarterbacks played well. Dak was 31 of 40 for 319. And Love was 31 of 43. And 3 TDs. I mean, they both played well. So
they definitely still should have ran the ball more. I agree.
Number one, they should have ran the ball to control the time more, right? Because that's going to put up. And look, they put up 40 points without CeeDee Lamb. Like that's scary, right? With CeeDee Lamb, it changes the game, right? And that could also be the defensive strategy change because CeeDee Lamb wasn't playing. But again, I am happy Micah made an impact on that game. I think he would rather have won, but he's happy that he made an impact. Because if he didn't get that tackle, Dallas would have won the game. All right. Yeah. Let's go to hold on a second. Let's get to how do you do this for me? Jaden Daniels is expected to play this weekend versus the Chargers. So he's coming back and he's got to be pumped up with the Giants won. So what are your thoughts about that?
I think McLaurin's coming back too, Terry McLaurin. So that'll definitely be a spark for Jaden because that's his main guy. I obviously they thought he had to have last week off, which I agreed with. And if they feel and he feels that he's ready to go, why not?
Yeah. Well, I like the kid. I want to see him play.
Yeah.
I want to see these kids play. I don't want to see them hurt.
Right.
Right. I want Burrow. I want to see Burrow. I want to see good. I want to see the quarterbacks that we're excited about to play. All of them. Yeah. Right. They're all getting paid big dollars now, and they seem to get hurt more.
Right.
Right. So I don't know what's going on there, but all right, let's go. Shorthanded fail. They're 2-2. Right. So me, Byron. So thing is, the reason why I went to Washington to lose is because then everybody's got a shot other than chasing Philly. Right. But if we can make the wild card, I'll take it. All right. And then, so let me ask you a question here. Look at this one. Ravens dropped to 1-3 after loss to the Chiefs, and they look bad, 20-37. And they're doing the same thing. They ain't running the ball. I don't understand what the problem with Harbaugh is. Byron? Are they done?
It's not they're not playing Raven defense. They were talking about that all week. They on defense, they don't look the same. As far as they got after you. When they had like Rex Ryan back in the day and whoever was after Rex, they got after you you knew you were in a ball game with their defense. And now it's like, they got Kyle Hamilton, the all-world free safety. They went out and got I forgot what the other corner's name is. And they got Marlon Humphrey. They got talent. They got plenty of, but for some reason, they're bad. Mm-hmm. They're bad on defense. They don't tackle well. They're not getting interceptions. They're not causing fumbles. They're just not flat out playing, Raven, defense. Then on the offensive side of the ball, like you said 1,000 times, you got the big 250-pound running back. Give him the ball. Give it to him. Stop exposing Lamar Jackson. I think he pulled a hamstring, so he was with that. So don't expose your quarterback. Turn around, give it to this big dude, and play Raven football. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, I agree with the whole. It's not the Ravens defense, and then like you said, they had Rex Ryan, and then they had Wink Martindale, which is who the Giants got Wink from. So they had some defensive coordinators that were go get them kind of guys, and that's just been like absent for the last year or two.
Okay, so time out though. In the playoffs, they continually change, and they gave him the ball less than 20 times. Their record with him greater than 20 times is a winning record. When he carries the ball, when Derrick Henry carries the ball more than 20 times, they win more games than they lose. Okay? He got the ball 8 times. Okay? And I understand maybe you're thinking you're playing from behind, so I have to throw. But Byron, haven't we seen him bust through and break out long runs? That guy, dude's big and fast.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, but
and then so that's one. The other part from the defensive side. Okay, this is my philosophy on it. I'd love to get your feedback. They're not playing Ravens defense, but there is no doubt. Okay, because I think they switched their focus the second they picked Lamar Jackson. They became an offensive team. I'm going to beat you offensively, especially if it's an offensive league, right? And I think that hurts them because they're not thinking from the defensive perspective. If that's really our identity as a team, we're a defensive team, right? And since they've got Lamar, when have they had a really good defense? Like the teams you mentioned, Byron, those were historical defenses. You got Ed Reed, you got Ray Lewis, you got the Italian guy that passed away, Tony
Saragusa.
I mean, you had some ballers, man. You know what I mean? Legitimate Hall of Famers. And you look at the quarterbacks they had. They had Trent Dilfer, right? And who was the other one? It wasn't Brad Johnson. He was with Tampa.
Joe Flacco.
Flacco. You had Trent Dilfer and Flacco. And no offense to those guys, but they were just quarterbacks that maintained the game. You won it on defense. You put up just enough points. We're going to stop them, and we're going to get turnovers, right? How do you do that when you have this, Lamar's a generational talent. He's an offensive weapon. but you got two of them and you're not doing anything with. And when you throw the ball more, the team gets the ball. I just wanted to say, let's just use that narrative. Do you think that because they have Lamar Jackson, they've geared away more from defense because they're working offense? That's the question. Byron?
It's weird because, like, when you look at them on offense, they really don't have like the receivers that are. They have good ones. They don't have that guy, a receiver, and they're more like a want to throw to the tight end when they had like Mark Andrews, the other one that I forgot the other kid that got hurt. He's out.
Isaiah Likely.
Him and did they get rid of that fullback, that big giant 300-pound fullback they had? Is he still playing with them? Richards, right?
I think they. I think he might be on the practice squad.
And previous to this year, you had that big 300-pound fullback leading Henry into the hole or whatever back there, and then they're not, for some reason, just Raven football. They're like, all right, we're paying Lamar all this money. Let's let him do his thing. That's pretty much what they're doing. Like, all right, you run around, break a run, run around, look for somebody.
But hold on. But based on you saying that would you agree that lies into the fact of what I'm saying, that they're relying on him and less on their defensive strategy?
Yeah.
That's the question.
They're paying him $50 million plus or whatever they're paying him. So yes, he has to do his thing every week.
Yeah, I mean, I could go to the point of, like Byron was saying, we were saying earlier about, the defensive coordinators, because defensive coordinators, for the most part, will have a say in the not the owner, but the head coach's ear as to, what kind of guys he wants to draft, what kind of guys they want to bring in, who would fit the scheme more. Now, their DC now is Zachary Orr, and he's been the linebackers coach up until 2 years ago when they switched him over to the DC. But again, like, has he been in, the coach's ear saying, look, we need to do this, this, and this? I don't think so. At least not like Wink and not like Rex were, because those guys were in the head coach's ear consistently.
Okay, I agree with that, but I'm going to counter it. Still, the question is, if you're saying defensive coordinator, okay, are you saying that the question is, because they have Lamar Jackson and his ability to be an offensive explosion, right? Do you think that's where they started, going away from their identity of being a defensive team that won Super Bowls on defense? This is the question. Yes, I mean, you gave a good point. I just want to know what your answer to that is.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. I'd have to say, yeah, they've turned their focus to more offensive guys. I mean, again, you picked up Lamar, you brought in guys like, Derrick Henry. Didn't they bring in a receiver too?
Yeah.
Who it was? But I mean,
Andrews is good. Andrews is good.
Yeah, Andrews is good. But again, like you said, they're focused a little more. I agree. I think they're focused a little more on their offense than they are their defense. And like we've said, their defense has been their breadwinner for years.
Mm-hmm. And look, Byron, let's not take away from Spags. I mean, Spags his defenses have been good historically, right? Both in championships for Giants and for them. So you look at he held down to 3 of 10, same thing as Kansas City, 1 of 4 on fourth down. Kansas City was 4 for 4 on fourth down. Okay, they ran 70 more plays. He got sacked 3 times, right? The penalties weren't so bad. He lost a fumble. That was defense. And he threw an interception. That was defense, right? You get sacked 3 times. Let me ask you something. If you get sacked 3 times, you lose a fumble, and you got an interception. That's defense.
Use your lose.
But that's defense, no?
Yeah.
So you got to give yes, but I still don't understand how Derrick Henry could ever play in a game where he doesn't have at least double digits in rushing attempts ever. And I don't understand how you don't look at where's the data? And I remember, Byron, we don't hear too much of the analytics anymore. It's either that just passed or we were, how many times for a couple of years we were making fun of it. Where are the analytics of run them 20 something times and what's the record, right? And he did the same thing in the playoffs. He ran them for less than 20 times in the play. There was no reason to rest him.
All right.
So I think that I think Harbaugh needs to go back to, okay, I got to play defense. I got to get better defensive players. I can't worry about, what I'm putting around a Ramar, whatever, because he's been great. He's been an MVP. He can't be an MVP if his receivers aren't catching the ball. I don't care whose name they are. Is that a fair statement? Because he's not making MVP just on his rushing. Now, his rushing does help. Don't get me wrong. But he's got to throw touchdowns. He's got to have efficiency. He's got to have yards as a quarterback, right, to win an MVP.
Right.
Okay? So, he can do it. Now, play defense. Because to be honest with you, he's been getting a lot of blame, like how far he can go in the playoffs, this and that. I'll be honest with you, based on what I've seen, I blame the coaches. They change. Byron, how many times we talk about they go into playoffs, it ain't the same team that was playing the regular season.
Wait, here, let's throw out the name. Todd Monken, offensive coordinator. Todd Monken, let's throw his name out there because he was the one that did it the last time they screwed up.
Oh, man. Okay. So, anyhow, that's the deal with those guys. And it's sad, but, hey, I don't like to see Kansas City going down too bad either. All right, let's go to the next. Ravens, Lamar. You think they're done for the season, though? That's the question. You think they got a shot?
I wouldn't say they're done, but it doesn't look good.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't come out this week, if they don't come out this week with a win, it might be the end of the season or close to it.
Mm. All right, let's go here. Look at all the quarterbacks injured. 49ers are missing Percy. Purcell, Jennings versus the Rams. This kid just got paid, man. Huh? He just got paid.
Mm-hmm.
So here, I'm looking something up. His toe, he got his toe. You said his toe hurts?
Yeah, he stubbed his toe. Pick
A
up his
turf
money.
toe.
He stubbed his toe in his new apartment, Byron, that he can afford now?
Yeah, he can afford one now in San Francisco.
Yeah.
He got turf toe on the grass.
He said under $1 million he couldn't afford an apartment. Getting paid $1 million.
No, not in San Francisco. Very, very expensive.
All right. And then what do you think about here? What do you think about Tyree? He tore his multiple, including ACL, but he seemed like he was like happy. Was it me or he was like smiling and ding? What do you think? Did you see that?
It was gruesome. Like it was bad.
Yeah, that hurt
I thought it was a lot worse. And they said it was. I mean, he did tear some ligaments, but they said it was mostly a dislocation. Like so, obviously, it was something they could pop back in. But again, it did do damage to the ligaments, which is going to keep him out the rest of the season. But it looked bad.
That hurt looking at it.
Yeah.
But why was it like? But did you see him getting wheeled off?
Yeah. He's probably just keeping it positive. Yeah. Yeah. Shock probably number one.
Okay. Here's a stat for you. The Baltimore Ravens are 8-0 when Derrick Henry has 20 or more rush attempts. This game includes the 2024 season up to the point that the data was retrieved. Help me with that. How does the guy get the ball 8 times against a team you have to knock off Mount Rushmore? 8-0.
Yeah.
That's a question only Coach Harbaugh can answer.
And then he ran the ball for 70 times in the playoffs. In the game they lost. All right. Well, let's get going. So we're wrapping this up. All right. Let's wrap it up a little bit. Anything you need to bring? Oh, happy birthday again, Devon. How was the party?
The party was wonderful. We partied like rock stars.
Did you really? It looked nice. Awesome.
It
You told us.
It was
You
in
sent
the
my,
Woodbridge.
you sent my happy birthday to her, right?
You know I told him, man. Come on, man. I would never hear the end of it if I didn't.
Yes, right. Especially I had you live. It was his sister and I graduated high school together. So we know each other for a long time. All righty. So let's do some predictions real quick. I ain't gonna do the spreadsheet. We'll have to get it later, Byron. I can't do both.
I know.
All right. 49ers, Rams.
I'm
Byron.
going Rams.
Big Blue Byron.
Rams.
Rams. Cowboys at Jets.
Cowboys.
Jets. I think I'll
Really,
pull it
man?
out. I gotta go
Really,
against
Jets?
them. I don't trust the Cowboys. You put up 40 points one game, barely put up points the next game. Giants at Saints. Ooh,
I'm taking the Giants.
I'm taking the Giants. I had to say
I'm
that
taking the
first.
Saints, man. They're gonna let.
I told you. That's why I said it first. If I would have said it last, he would have picked the Giants, right? But I said the Giants quickly to see if he'd go. He's picking the Saints. Saints ain't gonna lose crap. Giants gonna speed. They gonna whip on them. All right, Commanders at Chargers. Oof. I'm gonna go. I don't think the Chargers are gonna lose 2 games in a row. Not Harbaugh. And coming off an injured Jaden Daniels too. And they're playing in LA. They're playing in LA. So I'm just giving you all my reasons.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers with that too.
Yeah, me too. Me 3.
All right. Bucks at Seahawks.
Ooh-wee.
I'll go Bucks. I think same thing. I think what's his name? My man Baker Mayfield is not happy with the last loss. He threw a terrible ball, by the way. He should never thrown that ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bucks.
I'm gonna go Seahawks at home.
All right. Seahawks at home. By the way, I want to see something real quick. Sam Darnold. How's he playing? I hear he's playing pretty decent. Byron?
I haven't really seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of them.
Well, I haven't heard bad about him either. You know, if he was like fumbling, he's got a passer. He's got a passer rating 106. He's got a completion ratio of 70%. He's thrown for 900 yards, 5 touchdowns only, and 2 interceptions. That's so great. But he's been sacked 6 times. But he's pretty efficient. He's just they're not putting up a lot of points. All right, but hey, he's doing well. Oh man, I don't know what the heck this. We'll have the rest of the predictions. Can't put any more predictions in there. All right, well, we'll figure it out from there. All right, any parting words? What you ready for this weekend? Who's playing tonight?
I don't even remember.
That's how big it is.
No. Honestly, I don't even remember.
It'll be sad if it's actually a big game and
I know, right?
We don't even know. Huh?
I don't know.
The Vikings and the Browns, isn't it?
Oh, that's why.
Oh, it's San Francisco.
No, it's San Francisco at 49ers, and San Francisco's up 14-0. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But
Damn.
I guess we don't know because it wasn't really with these guys hurt.
Yeah.
And 49ers at 14-0. Something's happening with the Rams.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a little focused on the Yankees tonight.
Oh, that's what I'm about to watch right now. Dude, hey, listen to me. I'm going to end it with this, all right? I always say that the Yankees are a 3-point basketball team, okay? That when the 3 points dropping, and that's what you only do, man, unstoppable. When it ain't dropping and you got nothing else, Byron, what happens? Right. So the Yankees equivalent are home runs. They'll spank teams. They'll put up 7 home runs. You know, it doesn't happen in the playoffs, man.
No.
You can put one. You're not. Look at the scores: 3-1, 5-something. It's not. We need the pitch. It scares me, right?
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. Basketball equivalent to 3-pointers. They're relying on the home runs. At least Judge now is getting base hits and stuff, but you don't see Stanton get a lot of base hits.
No.
You know what I mean? We had bases loaded bases loaded with no outs. And we couldn't get a run. No outs, bases loaded in Yankee Stadium. That's the other thing, by the way, guys. They the way I'm happy, but it's unfair. They changed the playoff format, Byron, in baseball. The wild card is best out of 3, but all the games are played at the higher seed home. Mm-hmm. Boston doesn't get anything. They don't get
I was shocked to see that.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing 3 home games in a row. I guess they're speeding it up.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time I ever seen him play back to back to back.
Yeah, same.
Right? Normally there's a break in between, but it's probably because of travel time. I guess they're trying to speed up the game because baseball is long. But it's terrible for the businesses in Boston and for the fans. Yeah. But I think the businesses get hurt the most. Right? Because the revenue not coming in. All right. Big Blue, how can some people reach you? They want to talk Giants.
All my social media, Big Blue Ant 72 or Big Blue Ant 825 across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can find me there.
Awesome.
One thing I want to say real quick, my wife's Puerto Rican, and there's a lot of talk about the whole Bad Bunny thing at the halftime. I'm embracing it. Have at it. NFL is becoming worldwide. Why not have someone like him to make that next step?
First of all, I'm Puerto Rican.
There you go.
Okay, number 1. Okay, number 2, a Puerto Rican is American Commonwealth.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like he's coming from another country. He's coming from born in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. He's American. Mm-hmm. So what's the issue that they have him coming out? He's changed his music. Because I didn't like him at first. I started liking him now. Yeah. It's changed his style of music. At first I didn't like him either, or I didn't like his music. I didn't like him. You understand? But his music is evolved. Right?
Absolutely.
So what's the issue? What is it they don't like about him? What are they saying?
Just because they don't understand what he's saying. I mean, that's literally what it is.
Yep.
Not for nothing. The way Kendrick Lamar raps, I didn't understand much of that either.
I didn't understand a word either.
See?
Exactly. Hey, look, but he's an international. He's from Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. Obviously he has to do a clean show. They're not going to pick a person who doesn't do a clean show, right? And they got to diversify. They've had everybody. They've had, they've had country people. They've had, raps. They had, pop singers. They've had everything, in the Super Bowl halftime. I mean, they had Snoop, Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent. I mean, and, who was in there that should have been in that was from the West Coast? There was somebody that we were missing that didn't perform. But anyways, they got to diversify. So I know people don't, but they like it, they don't like it, but it's really don't watch it. Right. But let's see how many people do watch it.
Turn the volume down if you don't like it. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Go eat a wing.
Put a timer on and change the channel for a little bit.
Have a wing and a smile while Bad Bunny blows it up. All right. So good for him. I'm glad he's doing well. I'm glad he's changing up his music so you could like it. He's, they're gonna go for what's popular. That's what you pay for, right? Those tickets go expensive, right? And we're gonna have to pay for that Super Bowl one day. So
exactly.
I'm gonna get my money's worth.
Yeah,
all right. All right. Well, don't forget every Thursday. What time, Byron? 8 p.m. We do that, Big Blue. He puts up every set of numbers because no matter what our friends ask us, we tell them it's 8 p.m. on Thursday for 6 years. They're like, "What time's your podcast?" Okay, I don't understand. So don't forget live. Subscribe on all our channels. I got you guys just predicted the Thursday night game. Laugh out loud. We did, but we picked the wrong team. Santiago. Also, I want to give a shout out to to my doctor that I went to today. Get my surgery on Tuesday, Byron.
Prayers out to you.
Where is it? Okay. Dr. Peter Michael. I went there for Regenix. So what they're going to do is like peptides, stem cells, and PRP for my knee. Got phenomenal practice on Ponce de Leon. It's care, wellness, but Regenix in Miami and Coral Gables. I want to go shout out for Dr. Peter Michael. He was fantastic. Helped me. They were on time. I was in there. My leg drained. I feel I could actually squat. My whole leg can bend. and he helped me with my back. So shout out to him. Here, let me see. I got a picture of this thing. Shout out to his company's name. But he was fantastic. I got nothing but good stuff to say. The Miami Wellness Pain Relief Comfort, Miami Wellness. So if you're in the South Florida area or anywhere in South Florida and you need some wellness, knee pain, Regenerex, peptides, stem cell, I'd go there. All right, gentlemen, you have a good night. God bless. And let's go Giants. Peace. All right.